guys, welcome back to Handmade with Tara. If you are new here, I'm Tara, a Stampin' Up demonstrator and stay-at-home mom to 3 beautiful boys. With that being said, if I am interrupted at any time during this video, I apologize now. Now tonight I have Peekaboo Farm. This is a Stampin' Up stamp set from the latest May to April 2023 catalog. And this stamp set is on page 54 of the catalog. 54 of the catalog right here. This is the stamp set that I'm going to use. So you can see on here the sentiments: life is better with you, miss you, sending hugs, hello there. And then we have all these cute barn animals. So during this month until August 31st, we have celebration going on, and that's pretty much our promotion. That is, you spend $50 and you get a free celebration item, including the designer series paper that I used on all of the project that I did tonight, which is the Rings of Love. So here's the celebration catalog with all of the free items that you can receive during this month. And this paper right here, this Rings of Love 12 by 12 paper, is the paper that I used for this project, for all of the projects that I'm going to do tonight. So, and here's some ideas of other projects you can do. All right, so that's celebration. All right, so anything that you see tonight on this video, you can purchase from my website, taragolem.stampinup.net. And I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into the projects, and you'll see as I go along, I'll tell you what materials I'm using. For the most part, all of the projects, I do use my Stampin' Chamois to clean all my stamps off, so you'll hear me say that a lot. That's this one. I use either seal or glue. So this is the Stampin' Seal or the glue, the multi-purpose glue. I use my scissors. I use my Take Your Pick tool and my bone folder and Wink of Stella on these projects too. Wink of Stella and the bone folder. Okay, and then I have a couple of different inks that I'm going to use that coordinate with the designer series paper that I'm going to use, which is the Rings of Love, which I already mentioned before, but it is this one right here. So all of these different colors are the Rings of Love designer series paper. Okay, and then I also am going to use white, basic white cardstock. I'm going to use Petal Pink cardstock, and I'm going to use the Night of Navy cardstock on these cards tonight, on these projects tonight. So, okay, let me jump right into this. So, the first card that I did this one, super cute, super great project to do. But I'm also going to do tonight, I'm going to do this one, which is really fun. Peekaboo card that opens up like this. All right. And I also have, this is an extra card that I made, but you will need dies for this one. So if you don't have an embossing machine, this one might be a little bit harder for you. But this one is the last one that I'll do. So I'll do the other two first, and then I'll do the alternate one if you want to try that one later. That'll be the last one that I do. So I did my best to cut up everything that I was going to need ahead of time, but I will walk you through all of the measurements that I used for everything. So these cases too, I got from the website. It's just like a DVD case, or like a, you know, just a blank empty case here, and I use them to organize my projects so that I can keep them all straight. So super helpful for me. And then, like I said, I went ahead and I colored all the things in, and I tried to make it as easy as possible to just grab it and show you how I did this. So first of all, you're going to need, these are the measurements that you're going to need. So a 1 inch by 3 inch white sentiment piece of basic white cardstock, 5 1/4 by 5 1/4 by 1 1/4 white for the wall. So that's for the front wall. So if you can see that. And then I'm going to need 4 by 5 1/4 designer series paper. So that's this one here. Okay, and then 5.5 by 4.25. That is the regular size of the cards that we use, that I use, and scored at 4 and, oh, I'm sorry, this is, yeah, 5.5 by 4.25, scored at 4.25, but it's 5.5 by 11, scored at 4.25. Sorry about that. And then I'm going to use this piece for the animals. So I'm going to stamp the animals down on here, and then I'm going to fussy cut them out, and that is 2.25 by 5.5. So if you need the measurements, go ahead and write those down. I mean, it's not like beautiful or anything. I'm not a art. I'm not. I was gonna say an artist, but I think that I'm a little bit of an artist, but so it's go ahead and pause the video and you can write down those measurements if you need the measurements of the different things. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I built this card. So I'm going to have my base. So, and on top of my base, oh, here's my other animal I thought I lost. On top of my base, here I'm going to add this Designer Series paper roller. It is double-sided, and you can use the Stampin' Seal or you can use the glue for this. I like to use the glue. I think that the liquid glue makes it easy so that I can adjust it once it's on the front of the basic white cardstock, and can kind of maneuver it a little bit, whereas the Stamping Seal is once I put it down, it's down, and I'm not that talented yet, I guess. Okay, so, and make sure that the card is opening like this, and I tried to kind of put more greenery up at the top here, and then like the darker orangey kind of, or the crushed curry looking is down here. So I'm gonna just get that centered on the card like that. Super simple. Okay, then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this piece for my wall. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the Memento Black, and I'm going to stamp this, and then once I get this stamped up, it's going to fit on here perfectly all the way across, but we're not gonna put that down until we attach the animals. So I'm going to center the wall on the white cardstock like this, press down. Then I'm going to do one on this side where I'm just trying to match up these lines so that the hand or the hoof prints of the animals can sit in the grooves. So without overlapping, I'm going to push that down. And then I'm going to do the other side now. The best that you can, does not have to be perfect, but matching that up as best that I can, pushing that down like that. So that's what your wall is going to look like. And I just used the piece that was the 5 1/4 inches by 1 1/4 inches. So that's this one here. Now I'm going to use my chamois, my Simply chamois, to clean my stamp off so that I don't accidentally bump it or anything into anything else or into the project again. Now I'm going to use my first set of blends, which are the dark gray granite. I have light and dark blends. These are dark and light gray granite. So, and then I use both of them. So these are really great. There's one side that's like a paintbrush and the other side is like more like a marker. So what I did was I just kind of spread it out, but I do like every other one. So I did like this one, doesn't have to be perfect. It is not, I just kind of like, you know, quickly went through, skipping a couple of stones like this to color that in, you know, kind of like, you know, zigzagging top to bottom to get all of the wall looking kind of rustic looking. All right, like this. And I'll do that one. Okay, so super simple, doesn't have to be perfect. I like to keep them in these plastic bags to keep them organized by color. And now I'm also going to use the dark as well. So I'm gonna just come down here. I'm gonna do the dark. And then I'm gonna come up here and kind of skip a couple of, just like I did the last time. And like so. Kind of getting all these big ones, little ones, medium-sized ones. Here we go. Here we go. Up here. Does not have to be perfect, as best that you can while staying in control and in the lines for the most part. Like this. And I'll do this one down here. Okay, so now I also use the dark and white smoky slate. So this is another variation of a gray. You don't have to use it, you can just use the other one if you want, but I use both, so I kind of like all the different colors of stone and tried to make it, you know, interesting and super fun. As fun as a brick wall can be, right? A stone wall. Okay. So as I said before, anything that you see can be purchased from my website, and you can put this project together at home. So anything that I use, I got from the website, and it supports me and my small business. So yeah, I'm trying to get this all done. So it's kind of easy peasy, all right? So I just used those two variations of like a gray looking color. And then for the rest of the wall, I did crumb cake. That is light crumb cake. And I just did the rest of the wall. So it's kind of like a base color that I thought would look really nice, but also just kind of outdoor, rustic looking, and with the kind of barn theme, barnyard. Which does not have to be perfect. Just getting rid of all the white as best that I can. Okay. Okay, I think I got most of it. All right, so there you have your wall. All right, so now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece, and this piece is 2 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches, and this one I use to stamp my animals. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I did that. So again, I used all 3 of the animals. I'm just going to do them all together on this big, huge eye block that I have, which also you can get all the blocks. And these are photopolymer stamps, so you can see when all the lines are outlined like that, it's ready to go. I'm just going to push it down like so. And for these, again, I'm going to color in, actually I'm going to clean this off. All right. And I'm going to color in all of these animals. So I kind of just did like a bronze and ivory cow. So these are bronze and ivory blends. They come together as a set. So, and I did the bronze all around. Just so you know which colors I used for what, just in making it as easy as possible so you don't have to guess what I did here. I can close that later. And I think I left his hose light. And then I think I also used this on the, maybe not, I think I used maybe a different color on the horse. So this is ivory. Okay. And these blends go on like almost like a paintbrush. Like this. Just like that. And then if I'm like looking at my card here, I'm just kind of staying true to my original card. Oh, I definitely think, okay, maybe not. Put these aside for a second. And then I'm gonna grab my soft suede. So I'm pretty sure the soft suede light and darks what I used for the horse. Could be wrong, but I think that that's what I used. Looks darker on my original project. And maybe, okay. So I'm using the dark soft suede again. Doesn't matter if you stay in the lines because we're gonna cut this out. So I'm just kind of coming down, making sure there's no more whites. And then I'm gonna use the light one for the hair. And down here. And then I think I did use the ivory, the bronze and ivory, and I think I used that for the face and hooves, like that. And then just gonna set those blends aside. For the pig, I used Calypso Coral, and I used the light and dark with the Calypso Coral. So I did, oh, that's the marker side, so I want to use this side. So this is going to make a nice, beautiful pink pig. I'm going to darken this up with the dark one, so I'm not really that worried about it. Just going to go over the whole thing. Like so. Make sure there's no more white. Just like that. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of accent, so around the nose. And a little bit in the ears. Just like that. And last but not least, I'm going to use my black blend. So this is just a dark basic black, and I'm just going to color in the horns here. Yeah. All right, so that's what it looks like. All right, and then you're gonna fussy cut them out. And by fussy cut them out, I mean you have to take your scissors and you cut around all of the animals. You like come in here and you try to get as close as you can and you fussy cut around, okay? So I went ahead and did that because it does take a little bit of time, and I'm just gonna set that aside. So now I have my wall and I have my animals. So now I'm going to connect the animals to the wall. So what I'm going to do is, it doesn't matter what order I put them in. So you can do it any way you want. And maybe I want the card exactly the same, so I can do it exactly the same. But you're gonna come up here and you're gonna cut in right here and kind of make a, like, so that you can hook him onto the wall. So I come in by the hooves and I'm snapping like the scissors just right up like that to make me like a little bookmark, you know, just like that. But try not to cut the hooves off because that's not good. All right, and then I'm going to attach them to the wall. So I put the pink pig right in the middle like this. Oops. Just like that, and he should hook onto the wall like that. And then it looks like this from behind. So I messed up on this side with the wall. And I'm just gonna use just like a regular piece of tape to hold it on. So you can glue it down if you want to, but I'm just, for the sake of saving time, I'm just gonna hook him into place so that he's not moving, he's not going anywhere, and I can move and, you know, adjust the wall as I need to without having to worry about that. So there's my horse. Again, I'm just gonna tape him down. I don't want him to go anywhere. And lastly, going to get my little cow. And this is just regular Scotch tape or whatever. It's the only thing that I'm using that is not the website. So just like that. And I'm just gonna put that down like so. All right, so now my wall is ready to go. I can go ahead and glue this right down onto my card. So I'm gonna use my glue. I'm just gonna I'm afraid to push too fast because then it goes like that and I get a big clump. I gotta be careful not to get a big clump. Eee. Coming out too fast. Okay, like this. Oh, that was too close to the edge too. And like this, just a little bit of glue. And now I can attach this to the front of the card. Like so. And I just want to give a little bit of space at the bottom, not too much space at the bottom, but I'm going to go ahead and line that up on both sides and just kind of flatten it out. Try not to push the glue out the sides. Just kind of push it down nice and easy, just like that. And okay, so now I need this piece. So this is for the sentiment. This is 1 inch by 3 inches, and I actually used a die to cut this really nice, beautiful edging on there. So I used my I think it's my rectangular stitch dies, rectangle stitch dies. So that, and then I used the Petal Pink Stampin' ink, and I just did Life is Better with You. So I went ahead and threw it on my H block because it's just right. This is how you maneuver these. Beautiful. And then I just dab, 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 tap, tap, tap on my ink pad till I can see it completely through the block. And then I'm gonna go ahead and stamp that down right in the middle of the sentiment block. And I press firm, but I don't wobble or shake it. And then the next thing that you're gonna do, clean your stamp off. I'm a big advocate for cleaning off your stamps so that they don't get ruined. And I'm gonna grab a couple of dimensionals. So I have both medium, I have both small, most small and large dies. I'm just gonna grab some small ones. And you can see I already stamped the other side of this. So this is a great paper because it is nice and thick, and you can stamp both sides and you can't see through, so it's pretty nice. So I'm just gonna put a bunch of little dimensionals on there, and I'm going to attach this onto the front of the card. Ooh, but before I do this, I am going to, before I add this, sorry, I'm going to do this little bird here. So I did Memento Black. I did this sweet little singing bird in black, tuxedo black, right on the wall, like this. So there he is. And then I colored him in with the Clean My Stamp Night of Navy blends. So I think I used the dark one too. So yeah, I think I used the dark one. So I'm gonna color him in like this. Maybe I used the light one, I don't know. You can use the light or the dark, whichever one you like. And then the last step is you're going to go ahead and put the sentiment. I put it over the wall, but I also have a little bit of the background showing right there. Attach that down. And then I use the Wink of Stella to bring these plants alive. So I use this, it just adds a little bit of glitter. I don't know if you can see that. Kind of makes it shiny. I thought it would look like, you know, like a morning dew or something like this. You can add this on. This Wink of Stella is awesome. It just kind of adds just like that nice little touch of oomph. And I'm just gonna take a quick break and I will come right back. But that is the last and final part of this card. And then I will do a second video. I hear my baby crying. I gotta go grab him. So I'm going to do that really quick. Sorry guys. See if I can. All right, 1 second guys, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. All right, here we go. So this card is finished. So you can put whatever sentiment you want on the inside, but this card on the outside is done. Super easy, super fun. You just have a little bit of cutting and a little bit of coloring that you have to do, but super cute Peekaboo Farm card. So, and I think I did use the light one because look how dark that is. You can't really see the bird. That one you can. That one's pretty. All right, that's card number 1. All right, so now this is a fun fold card number 2. So you're going to use the Night of Navy on this one. And of course I wrote down all my measurements again so I could show you. So this is Night of Navy cardstock, and you want it cut right down the middle. So if the page looks like this, you're gonna cut it right down the middle at 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2, right in the middle, okay? And then you're gonna use both pages because we're gonna actually put this one, it's gonna end up being like this, okay? So, oh, did I even show you the card? Hold on, this is the fun fold. Okay? So, and these are cut at perfect diagonals on both sides. So that's the first thing that I'm going to do, but I'm gonna let you write down all the measurements. So you need the Night of Navy cardstock, and you need 2 pieces. So like, usually you can do 1 card out of this. Okay, but I'm gonna put them together like this, and I'm gonna glue them together. So then I'm gonna need a 5 1/4 by 4 cut white cardstock that I'm going to put, like, once I have this together like this, I'm gonna put this one right in the middle, and that's gonna be like for your sentiment and everything right here. And then I did use some designer series paper on this one as well. And it's the same one just because I thought that this was perfect for the barn background. So, and then these are cut 5 1/4, 5 1/4 by 4. And I need 4 of them. So you need 4 of them. And they're also going to be like cut diagonally, like right diagonally. And then once we cut these diagonally too, these pieces, I'm going to need one for the front and one for the inside of the card like this. Okay. So, and I'll show you exactly how I did that cut with these other pieces over here. And I used, also you're going to need some of white pieces. So just a white half sheet of paper here. So just like a white piece, and then you're going to stamp the wall and cut the wall out again. So again, I'm just gonna stamp boom, 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 boom. I'm gonna make sure that there's 4. And I'm going to color them in the exact same way that I did the other card. So I'm going to do all the different grays, and then I used crumb cake as a finisher all the way around. So that piece, and that could just be a half sheet of white. So 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. It doesn't really matter. You just need to make sure you have 4. And then I used my Stitch So Sweetly dies to die cut the sentiment blocks. So these you don't need to cut like with a pretty border, but I used the Stitch So Sweetly rectangle there to make this pattern around. It kind of just makes it really pretty, but it could just be a rectangle. It doesn't matter. Okay. And then the animals, I showed you how I did them before. I just stamped them down and then I colored them in, and I used these 3 for this project. So I went ahead and stamped all 3 just like I did the other time, colored them all in. I colored my cow a little bit different on this one, but the pig is exactly the same, and the llama is using the ivory and the bronze. So the ivory and the bronze is what I used on the llama. So, and again, you're going to want to cut those little slits right by the hooves so that you can stick them onto the card where you need them. So you can pause the video if you need to and make those and fussy cut those out, as well as the wall pieces. So again, you're going to need 4 of the wall pieces. So fussy cut the outside of them out, and then let me show you how I cut the designer series paper. So first of all, again, I cut this 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, that was the first thing that I did. Then I take my paper trimmer. All right, got your paper trimmer here. So one side is a cut, the other side is a score. All right, I use this paper trimmer on every single project that I do because I need to be able to cut paper. And then I just lined it up where the edge is right here and where the corner is right here, where the corner is right here and where the corner is right here. So I just put that corner right on the line, put this corner right on the line as well, just like that. Try not to let it move around. And then I just, again, double checked that it was in the window here, that I have both corners, and I just went back and forth like that to give me 2 pieces that were the same. All right, so I'm gonna do that again here and there. Oops. And there, making sure it's in there middle. Okay, and then I have to do one more, so I'm going to do this one here. One and 2, perfect. All right, so now I have a bunch of pieces that I can use for the card, but I'm also going to do the cardstock too. So I'm just going to, so on this one, I'm going to cut from here to here. So that's the first cut that I'm gonna do. And again, I just lined it up corner to corner, put this down like this, the best that I could, making sure that it's in the window of the card on both sides. And then I just go right down like that. And oh, here I'm going to get that last little piece on this side that's disconnected. There we go. Try not to rip my card. And then I'm going to do it on this side, and I'm going to do this side. So it's going to go, I'm sorry, from this to this. So maybe I should do it this way so that I don't get it stuck like I did before. So this corner over here, sorry, this corner right here, and then this edge right here. And then when I close it, I want to make sure that that corner is in there and that the bottom corner is in there. So that when I cut, I get it perfectly diagonal. And then these pieces can be saved in a scrap pile for later. And now I can go ahead and glue these two pieces together. So that's my next step. Okay. Camera's getting out of whack. So I just used the green glue, and we're going to, like so, and then I'm going to put this one right on top of the glue here and butt it right up to the score lines. And make sure that it's sitting perfectly flush. And then press down. So now we have our base here. Okay, I'm just gonna move that out of the way. Move these little guys out of the way. So then it should come together like this, where it looks like a little envelope. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and insert the middle piece of basic white cardstock cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And then I'm just going to wiggle it around until it's just where I want it, which is great about this liquid adhesive. Just like so. And then on both of the insides, so I'm going to put some of this paper down, and there's going to be some of the designer series paper, and there's going to be a little ledge on the sides. So going to use the liquid glue so that I can wiggle it around a little bit until I get it where I want it. Trying to make it even on all the sides. Okay, as best that I can. And then, so the reason that we did all of these is because we're gonna need some pieces going one way and some pieces going the other way. So hopefully I did it right here. So this one's gonna go over here. And liquid glue, just right on the edge, and then I press out to the edges. So get this on here, lined up as best that I can, where there's a little bit of edging, but not too much. Just like that. So the inside's done. Now we're gonna do the same for the front. So I'm gonna go ahead and attach this. And when I learned how to do this fun fold card, I definitely like when the people use both sides of the designer series paper. But for me, for this one, the designer series paper on the other side doesn't really go with my project. So that's why I just stuck to this one side. I got a little bit of glue on my finger. I'll be careful with that. All right, that's one. And I guess you could leave it blue if you wanted to leave it blue, but I think I like it with the designer paper. So now I'm gonna do this one here. And I have a couple of extra pieces, not intentionally, but just so that I guess I cut them originally so that I wouldn't have to cut them on my video, but then I wanted to show you exactly how I did it so you could see how easy it was. I didn't want to skip that step. I think it's important to know it's so easy, because then you're more inclined to do it right. If you don't see me do it, then you're gonna be like, wait, what did she do? So just like that. So now our base is ready to go. So now what I'm gonna do is I have 2 sentiments on this specific card. I did sending hugs on the front, and then on the inside I did miss you. And I used that little bird again because I thought that was really cute. Sending hugs. So let me grab my sending hugs, and then I just did that in a Memento Tuxedo Black. So I'm just gonna do sending hugs, just like that. Clean my stamp off. And I did miss you, which I don't think I have on any of my blocks. So I'm gonna grab it. So we can tell this person that we missed them. So I'm just gonna put it on the other side from the bird, since I need to use the bird too. So I'm gonna do miss you, and I believe that I also did miss you in black. So I don't have all the colors yet because I'm still new. So I am trying to acquire all the blocks and all the colors and all of the ink pads and everything. So I probably would have used Night of Navy if I had it. It's definitely gonna be in my next order, I think. But yeah, so I just use the black if I don't have it, and then I do what I can to coordinate the other colors the best that I can. So there we go. Now I have both my sentiments done. And so that way, if you mess up on your sentiment too, you can fix this. If you put it right on the inside of the card and you mess it up, then you're gonna have to cover it up. So I just do it on a separate piece, and then that way, when I put it in here, it also looks cute. It gives it a little bit of dimension here. But you can just tape this in here and you know that it looks good. You know that you're not gonna like mess it up or be crooked or off even or messed up here. So I'm just gonna use my Stampin' Seal, and I'm gonna go ahead and attach this piece to the inside, and I kind of just like, you know, put it where I like it. So kind of, see, it's like crooked, so because I just pushed it down. And I just kind of like adjust it until it's exactly where I want it. And then for this little guy, I colored him in Petal Pink, because Petal Pink is one of the other colors that coordinates with this designer series paper. So the designer series paper has a bunch of coordinating colors, and if you get the designer series paper, it tells you right on the back of it the name of the designer series paper and also all of the colors that coordinate with it, so that you can make cohesive projects. So that's the inside there. And then this one's gonna go on the outside, and I did use a dimensional to attach this one. So let me set all of these other pieces aside, and then I'm just going to grab a dimensional here, and I think I might even put it on the card here. So I kind of put it where it was like that. So I'm going to put it right here. And then I'm going to attach this like this. But before I attach it, I want to make sure that I have my cowl attached to it. So I'm going to cut right by the hooves again so that I can make myself a little lip. And then on this one, because the back is open and you're going to be able to see the back, I'm going to attach it and not use tape. All right, so I'm going to attach it like this. I'm not going to use tape. Instead, I'm going to use a glue dot. So glue dots look like this, and most of the paper pumpkin projects come with them. That's how I acquired so many from all my paper pumpkin projects. So obviously you don't want to put it on the back, you want to put it on the front. So right here on the very bottom, you put your glue dot like that, and then you take off the other side, and then you can see it here. Can you see that? Hold on. I don't know if you can see with my lighting here. It's kind of hard, but it's right here, right on the tip. It's so hard to see. Okay. So, and I'm going to go ahead and attach that first. So I'm going to put this kind of in the middle, and then I'm going to push it down until it covers up the glue dot. So perfect like that. And then that way the cow's not moving when I'm like moving it all around. And what I did too on my other card was, because you're going to see the back of him, I went ahead and I colored right where you can see. So I believe I used the bronze and ivory. So let me show you exactly what I mean. So see how you can see the bronze through a little bit? So I kind of followed that pattern and I colored him in on the back side too, because even though we don't really want people to look at him, we don't want people to see the back of him bare. So I did like that, and then I used the ivory for the horns, for the, yeah, right here, right here. And then if you want to, I can even do kind of like a big cow spot, you know, on him, like that, just to kind of complete the illusion, right? Because we're not supposed to see the back of them. That's why it's called Peekaboo Farm, right? But just in case somebody's looking, we want them to be completed, right? Just like that. And then hopefully you can kind of see it through. I don't know, maybe I won't use that. Maybe I'll do it again. Yeah, that's too dark. It's bleeding through too much. So I'm gonna get another piece like this. Ooh, I hope I can cover that up too. Ooh, that was my mistake. See, I should have tried that on the other one first. So I'm gonna finish by putting a glue dot on here like that. And then I'm just gonna use a piece of basic white cardstock to create this piece again. So I'm just going to grab a piece of scrap white, basic white, all right, and then I'm going to grab my stitched So Sweetly die that I used, which was this one, and I'm going to go ahead and run that through my embossing machine, which I'm not going to move because it's super clunky and it's not easily, it doesn't look good under the camera. There's not enough room for it, so I'll just do it over here. You'll see how simple and easy it was. So now I have a new piece here. And then I can just put this back and save this still. Can use this for lots of other things. So I'm going to put that away. So the embossing machine is my favorite thing that I use. It brings all these cards like to a whole nother level for sure. So let me go ahead and stamp that again with Sending Hugs, since I totally messed that up the first time. And Sending Hugs. Let's try that again. Sending Hugs. Kind of centered as best that I can. Oh, I messed up. You can do the other side. Or you can just, yeah. I'm gonna do the other side. No, I'm not. You can see, I'm gonna try to fix that. I'm going to clean the stamp off. Sorry, I'm going to just get some ink on that top of the stamp, try to line it up the best that I can. And fix that. Hopefully. There we go. See, I fixed it. All right, so that was a mistake. So don't go rushing through, because that's how you make mistakes. All right, so clean off my block and reattach this again. So this time I'm not going to color the back of him, even though I thought that that was a really cool idea to kind of create that illusion of the cow having a backside, right? So now I'm just going to attach it. Oops, I'm doing it the wrong way. So I'm just going to attach it like that. And I might even bring this cut up a little bit higher. So that Okay, there we go. I can cover up that whole spot that I messed up so I don't have to fussy cut a new cow, because that's a pain, right? There we go. And so now he's attached, he looks fine, and you can barely tell I made a mistake. Now I already have this set and ready to go, so I'm gonna go ahead and attach him. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna attach him to the front, and I kind of bring it up so it's right in the middle, just like that. And I put it on the dimensional, and then that way he's not going anywhere. He's got a glue dot on him, and he's good, and he's on there good. Okay, so now we're gonna do the inside, and that's the last bit for this card. So I used the pig on one side, llama on the other side, like this. And this is what I did with the wall. So I initially attach, and now I can use my tape again because I'm going to hide it behind the wall. Cut my slits, get him, her little piggy, this little piggy on the wall. Use a little bit of tape so that it doesn't go anywhere. So that's one. And that one's gonna go on this side. Then I'm gonna get my llama. And llama's got hooves, and they look backwards to me. It's funny. And then I'm gonna use another piece of tape for the back of the llama. So I'm going to attach this like so. Turn it around and get this piece of tape on here to get him on there good, not moving around. And then I'm just gonna glue him down right here in this corner, and I'll show you. All right, so like so, and get a little bit of glue on the back there. And then I'm just going to, so I can easily maneuver it around when I tape him down, because he's not going anywhere. So that's one side, okay? And then I'll do the piggy as well. Same situation here. So right on the inside cover. And then you could stop right there if you wanted to, but I thought it might be fun to finish the wall. So go to the rest of the card to make it look like he's really behind a wall here. So what I did was I went like this, and I kind of like sized it up. And then I'm just going to, so I'm gonna cut this little tiny corner off, and it's gonna be just enough to fill that last little spot. So what I did was I grabbed the card like this, okay? I made sure that it was the right way up. I kind of lined it up with the bottom of the card like this, you know, where it's like meeting there. And then I cut it right here, like that. So, and then I attach this part, all right, right here, lined up just like I just had it, just like that. All right, doesn't have to be perfect, but just get it on there. Okay, and then this little piece I used for this little corner down here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right here, and I'm just gonna attach this piece. So it's actually gonna end up being upside down, but that's okay. And I just attached it like that to finish the wall off. And that side is done, and I got a little glue on my finger, so that's not fun. But okay, so that side's done. So now I'm gonna do the exact same thing on this side. So I'm going to kind of put it there first, and then I'm gonna cut off this corner. So I cut off the corner here, like this. I'm gonna go ahead and glue this one down like this. And I kind of wiggle it around until it's like, you know, where I want it. And then I'm gonna use this piece and I'm going to attach that to the bottom corner here. Like that. Kind of just hold it in place. So there. That is how I did that. So now both sides are down. Close that up. I got a little bit of glue on my finger still. Just like that. And then just make sure that before you close it, you double check that there's no glue anywhere, because you don't want it to seal shut. But there you go. So now I have my Peekaboo Farm actually saying a little peekaboo. And then on this one, I used some of these gemstones, but I don't really like the way that they look. Like after I put them on, I was like, I don't know if I like them. So you can decide whether you like it or not, or how you like the cow, because this one's black and this one's brown, that bronze and ivory. But you can see on the designer series paper how it varies. So this one's got a little bit more brightness than this one, but it still looks really nice. So that is your fun fold for tonight for the Peekaboo Farm. All right, and I have one more fun fold, okay? So again, you don't need to have this fun stitched die. You can make it a square, but it does add, you know, it elevates the card. Looks really, really nice. So super easy, fun fold card. All right, next one. So the last and final card that I did was this one. So let me grab my materials. So again, I put them all in this. Let me keep my other ones. These are my first two card. So now, this one, okay. So on this card, I'm just gonna toss this because I definitely messed this one up. Where's my trash can? Like this, okay. So on this card, I used the same designer series paper. I just used a different page of that designer series paper. And this is, both of these are double-sided as well. And this is called a Z fold because it does kind of like make a Z, if you see that. All right, and then this is kind of cool because when you open it up, it shows you like the background and everything. It looks really nice like this. And this is the one that I was talking about that you're gonna need a die cut. You're gonna be able to, you need to use the die cut to make these circles. So I guess you could do it in a square if you wanted to, but still you're gonna have to figure out how to make this opening here. So I'm sure there's a way you could do it, but so this is the way I did. I used dies to make that. So, and I went ahead again and I went ahead and cut 5.5 by 11 cardstock, scored at 4 1/4. And then you flip it and score it at 2 1/8. So if you need to write down the measurements, that's the measurements that I did. Then you need 2 pieces of 1 7/8. So here's the cardstock. So it's just like a normal cardstock. All right, and then, so it's 5.5 by 11, and then you score it right down the middle at 4 1/4. Then you flip it, and then you score it at 2 1/8, so that it gives you that, okay? Then the designer series paper, 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. Again, it's double-sided, so if you're gonna use this side, you might want to, it's directional, so you gotta be careful. But I'm gonna use this side. So, and these are the pieces that are gonna go right here and right here. Okay, so that's the first thing. And then you also need a colored cardstock piece. So this is the petal pink. And I cut this one 3 by 4. okay? And then you need a piece of white that is cut 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, and that's gonna fit on there perfectly just like that, okay? And then you're going to need some designer series paper that's cut 2 3/4 by 3. And then 2 pieces, 1 cut of the same designer series paper, so this one's different on the back as well. So this one cut 2 3/4 by 3. And then just a piece of white that's cut the same, so 1 3/4, or yeah, 1 3/4 by 2. And you're gonna cut circles out of these, and the circles are gonna be, this one's gonna be bigger, and then this one's gonna be smaller, and when you get them, they're going to look like this and this, and they're gonna fit together like this. Okay, so the first thing we wanna do is we wanna go ahead and cut our circle out of this one, and I already went ahead and did that. So I got a circle die and I cut it right through the middle circle. And these are the stylish shape dies. So the stylish shape dies I use on this one. Then the first, so I don't need this one anymore. I'm just gonna set this one aside because I'm gonna use this one. And then, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this like this. So I'm going to attach it on 3 sides. I'm not going to attach it on the bottom because that's where I'm going to stick my little farm animal. So I'm going to do 3 side attach here, and so I'm just going to flip it over, and then I'm just going to put the, I'm actually going to use the glue. All right, so I'm going to use the glue, and I'm just going to go right next to the circle, and I'm going to do my best to keep it on the top like this, and like this, just like this. All right, so don't put any on the bottom or you won't be able to stick your little guy in. And then you're gonna attach it so that the blue is showing through the hole, just like that. Just like that. Oh, I got something on my paper. Then you're gonna attach this one right to this one. So I'm gonna glue it, and now you can glue all the way around this one. All right. And we're gonna put this one right in the middle of the petal pink, like so. Okay? Just like that. Then you're going to use a spare piece of paper, so any spare white that you have, white cardstock like this, and you're gonna go ahead and cut your little sheep or ram or whatever you want to call this, but I use the bronze and ivory on him. All right, and then just gonna use my snips and cut along the hoof on both sides here. All right, and then I'm gonna do what I did on the last card. I'm gonna get a glue dot. Oops, sorry about that. I'm gonna get a glue dot here, and I'm gonna just put the glue dot like on the very bottom of him like this, and I'm going to, all right, then I'm going to maneuver him into this little hole here. So you kind of lift it up a little bit, and then I kind of wiggle and jiggle until I get him in there the way I want him. And just like so. All right. So, and then what I do to secure him, to make sure that he does not move, for sure doesn't fall out, I just put a little bit of glue behind him like this, and then I push him down so that not only is he in there peekabooing through, but he is secured to the card. That's what I did on this guy. So the next thing I'm going to do is I use the Hello There sentiment, and I used I think this is C, yeah, my C block. So, and then I used the color that coordinates with this card, because I used a different designer series paper, is this Evening Evergreen. So I'm going to do a stamp, okay? And then I stamp it on the white circle. So it's gonna go right there in the middle. And then it's gonna look like this, okay? Clean my stamp off. All right, then I'm going to attach the two circles. So I'm gonna always start with the smaller one, so you don't have like glue where you don't want it on the bigger one. And you attach it here, like so. And then I put this one on with a dimensional right on this bottom corner here. But before I do that, I also did these little clouds here. So with that same white scraps paper, you're gonna do the clouds, and there's 2 of them that come with the set. So, and then cut them out, fussy cut. So lots of fussy cutting with tonight's project. I'm sorry about that, but I attached these with mini dimensionals here. So I'm just going to put these on the back of these little clouds. So you might just need to pause the video, and I colored them in with the Night of Navy light blend. Okay. And I'm sorry, you can totally hear my husband in the background. He's playing video games with his friends. That's what we do when we put the kids to bed. I come down to my card workshop. He comes down and plays video games. So together, but not together. He's doing his favorite thing. I'm doing my favorite thing. Besides our kids, obviously. So in this one, so I just attach the clouds like that, and they're on dimensional, so that it kind of pops them up. And then I can attach this one too while I'm at it. So I used some dimensionals, and sometimes like if you're doing them in a certain spot, so like I wanted them all on this piece, I put one like in the corner because I cover up the corner, and then I can, oh, there's like, this one got stuck. Let me toss that, get a new one. All right, so I have one in the corner, and then you can do like 2 more over here, but just be careful that you're going to cover them up with the sentiment. So hello there, and I'm just going to put it kind of like right on that corner. Boom, just like that. So this part is done and ready to go. So now I just need to assemble the rest of the card. So for this one, again, I'm going to use my green glue. You can use your Stampin' Seal if you want. I just prefer the glue, just easier for me to work with personally. Oops. Making a mess. So these 2 pieces are going to come right in here to give it background. And like so. Line this up on this side and attach that down. Just like that. So then when it folds, you're not going to see both of the sides. You're just going to see one of the sides. Okay? So now when you attach this, you want to center it on this page here the best that you can. And once it's centered on there, make sure it's centered top to bottom, side, right side to left side. Okay, you can move these directions. Hopefully you got those. And then I'm just going to put glue on this side of the paper. So obviously when it closes like this, you don't want glue on this side. So I just did glue on this side. And going to just do it to the middle. Maybe even less than the middle because we don't want it to accidentally overlap. All right, so now, again, when I lay it down, I'm going to make sure it's centered, top to bottom, left to right, the best that I can. And till it's where I want it, and then I'm going to push down. Just like that, and then now this card is done. Super easy, super cute. You got your little peekaboo sheep. Hello there, cute little sentiments. The petal pink matches up perfectly with the designer series Rings of Love paper, and it opens just like this. Look at that. So now you send this to somebody and they're just going to be blown away because you're so talented, right? So just to show you again all of the projects that I did for this project, for this product class for the Peekaboo Farms. Okay, so I did this fun fold, and then I did a more traditional, easier type card here. So, oops. Look at that. Okay, so I hope you liked this class. Give me a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and hopefully you learned something new tonight and that you can use again, and you had a little fun while doing it. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.